morning. Today is Thursday, September 29th, I think, but don't trust me, I never know what day it is. Thank you for coming back to my FlossTube channel. This is FlossTube number 2, and quite honestly, I think I'm more nervous today than I was last week. I am going to try some new things today. I keep looking up because I have my laptop screen and then I have my big computer screen for my eyes. So please don't think me rude if I look up because I'm looking at my bigger computer screen. So thank you again for joining me for FlossTube number 2. If you are coming back, if you're new, thank you so much. I hope you will subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button and give me a comment because those will be useful for a few things down the road on this video. I'd like to give some big thank yous this week to number 1, Carolyn Stitches, my friend Carolyn. I call her my friend. She might call me her stalker. But I met her at my local needlework shop maybe about a month ago, and we stitch together now, and I stalk her all the time. But she is a floss tuber, and she is also on Instagram, and you can find her at Carolyn Stitches. But last week, if you saw my video, it was vertical with black boxes on either side, and that's because I had my phone recording vertically. And she and Erin, Perpetual Projects, were nice enough to tell me that I need to turn my phone horizontally. Funny thing is, I knew that from some research, and I forgot everything that I had looked up once I started recording last week. But they were so gracious to give me lots of pointers on going forward with my videos. So you can only go up, right? If you're at the bottom, you can only go up. And I'd also like to thank Jess, Como Stitches, for being such a wonderful friend and so encouraging, and for talking me off the ledge many, many times, and for her beautiful project bags, which I featured last week and will be a gift to a subscriber from me this week. And that'll be at the end of the video when we talk about that a little bit more. But thank you guys so very much. And thank you to all of you who subscribed and left such sweet, encouraging comments. I have heard this from other floss tubers, that the community is just so sweet and so encouraging, and you did not disappoint. So many beautiful comments that just helped this poor girl try to muddle through it, because it was painful for me to watch. But I really, really appreciate all of you. And to Tracy Dickinson Designs, who shared about my new FlossTube channel, and all of you on Instagram that helped spread the word. I'd also like to give a big shout out to my friends Missy and Kathy at Two Needles Pulling Thread. It's Missy Timberlake on Instagram and Kathy Walker. I think it's Kathy.Walker, but I'll look it up, and my son will put it at the bottom of the screen. And I'll talk about him a little bit more in a minute. But they mentioned me so sweetly on their FlossTube last week and had me just in tears. So very, very kind and so very, very supportive. And Kathy and I are fellow Flamingo fanatics, so what's not to love about that? But if you haven't, and I'm sure you have, checked out their channel here on FlossTube, it's Two Needles Pulling Thread. So they are fun. They are so fun. So check them out. So it seems a little weird today to even be doing a floss tube. I am in South Florida, and we just came out of Hurricane Ian. We got bands and wind. We did have 2 tornadoes touch down very close to us. My family is fine. We never lost power. Our pool did overflow twice, and my husband was out there in the pouring torrential rain trying to lower the pool, which for a little bit there was a losing battle because it was raining faster than we could drain the pool. And we got I had the palms trimmed earlier this year. I just want to point that out if my husband's watching, because he wasn't thrilled with what I had to pay to have them trimmed. So we had very little palm fronds fall. You're welcome, honey. But I joke, but Naples, Sarasota, Cape Coral, devastated. I don't know if you guys have seen any of the videos. I do not purposely watch because I'm a nervous wreck. It is now moving central Florida into North Florida, Ocala, Oviedo, now my friend in Jacksonville, Edith Katz, was saying that they're starting to get the outer bands. My husband's working on a project up there, and some of his employees have lost power. We have a lot of stitchers in Florida. Sweetwater Stitcher, Jessica Provost, and Perpetual Projects, Erin, without power. I haven't heard from Erin yet this morning. I did Instagram Jessica a little bit, and her family's still without power. She has littles, so let's pray for them. Let's pray for everybody that has been impacted by the storm. My house is open 24/7. You don't even need to call or ask, just show up and knock. Half the time the door's open. My husband hates that. So just come on in. I have 2 boxes of Little Debbie's, a box of Oreos left, and some sour cream and onion chips, and plenty of water. Yes, I put my Little Debbie's on my fine china just to make me feel better. Our Dunkin' Donuts is open, so come on down. Door's always open. I'm not the greatest cook, but we can always order in. So, I made notes this week. Next on my agenda is how I'm feeling. I have really been down on myself this week on stitching. I didn't get as much stitching done as my head wanted to. I think I overcommit in my stitching and overcompensate. Maybe I don't think that's the right word, but for how fast I can stitch, and I don't. But I'm just not feeling like a good stitcher this week. I have had issues on my projects. I have had to rip it on almost every single thing that I am working on this week. I've had knots galore on my sampler, to the point where Sunday I put it down. I haven't picked it back up. And I don't know. I've just been down on myself. I didn't get everything that I wanted to accomplish. And I don't know if y'all ever feel this way. Like, Instagram and FlossTube is great. And sometimes it can be hard. Because you see all of this work that other people are putting out and all that this they are accomplishing. And I know we should not compare ourselves. I get that, but I can't help it. And then I look at my piddly stuff and I think, why do I even bother? Why do I call myself a stitcher? Why do we do this to ourselves? I don't know. I had a talk with my husband last night, who is always so supportive and so encouraging. And he really helped me out a lot. Don't tell him, because then his ego goes through the roof and then I have to live with that. But he is wonderful. So if you feel that way or have any thoughts on how I can just shake that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going through. Maybe it's a menopausal moment. I have lots of those lately. I'm sure the storm didn't help, and the barometric pressure dropping, and I had a migraine for a few days. But just been down on myself stitching lately. So let's move on to happier things. One quick note, and I hope you guys will join us. Jess, Como Stitches, and I are doing, of course, a sale. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a stitch along, and we are doing it in the month of October, and it's a holiday ornament exchange. So you have from now until October 5th. You can sign up on either of our pages, at Como Stitches, at the.Fanciful Flamingo on Instagram. And again, hopefully my son will put that on the bottom of the screen for you guys. So you have until October 5th to sign up. We will send you a Google Doc, some questionnaires. Jess is doing some really, really beautiful project bags at a great price for those of you who are interested in having a project bag for the stitch along. And we have a hashtag now, so we are official. It is hashtag the Ornament Exchange SAL. And again, it'll be on the bottom of the screen, and you can also find it on our Instagram. So hashtag the Ornament Exchange SAL, because you know it ain't a party until there's a hashtag. So now we are officially a party. So what you will do is you will pick an ornament that you want to stitch, and you will be matched up with someone else in the exchange, and it will be a secret Santa style. And you have the entire month of October to stitch it and finish it. And then you will mail it out to your recipient the first week in November. If you want, you can include some other goodies, max $20. Okay. But you don't have to. You can just send the ornament because the gift is plenty. But, and you will send it out the first week in November. So, stitched and fully finished to your recipient first week in November. And it's going to be lots of fun. I'm going to get with Jess, see if we can maybe do some Zooms of stitching. Sorry, I'm itching. How rude of me. And maybe play some games and stuff along the way to get us in that spirit. I haven't really stitched anything for Christmas since Christmas in July. So I am ready. And I didn't really stitch a lot of Halloween because I have a lot of Halloween decorations from when my kids are little. And I think because my kids are older, I'm more in the fall and I don't have a lot of fall decorations. So really, I have been focusing on fall stitching. I have one whip to finish, which is my Caterpillar Cross Stitch Mystery Sow for Halloween. And I'm not sure if I will. I'm all into the pumpkins and things. And again, I think that's partly just because my kids have kind of aged out of Halloween. Not my son, really. My husband and my son decorate spooky Halloween outside. I like sweet and fun inside. So, ornament exchange. Got that marked off my list here. So, the next thing on my list, excuse me while I reach over. Hopefully, I won't knock a million things off my desk. It looks neat, but it's really not. So, fully finished. I just have two littles. I have this Bent Creek autumn harvest sampler that I did into a pillow, and I stuffed it with lizard litter, which is like glitter, and it is everywhere. The backing is just some clearance fabric from Joann, and I bought 3 yards of it to finish all my little pillows with the same backing, nothing fancy. And this little trim came from a bundle from Michael's. It was like $9.99, 50% off. And so that is my fully finished Bent Creek. And this was a loaner from Jess Como Stitches. This one is also, this is Harvest Blessings by Heart and Hand. And if you know me, you know I love her. Again, same backing. Some more Michael's ribbon off that little rickrack. This was the called for Classic Colorworks. What is the other one? Gentle Artist. I never can remember their name. And some DMC. And this was the first time that I had ever done 2 different strands of like Gentle Artist and Classic Colorworks and stitched individual, one at a time. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but look at the variegation on that pumpkin. It's just, oh, and you can't really see it, but the heart too just has some amazing variegation. So I will be doing that from now on. I am usually a loop starter, but this was so worth it just to see the variegation. And this was a frog. I had to rip here. I was a row off. And I know you wouldn't have been able to tell, but I would have. These little pins are from Poutini. They say grateful, thankful, blessed. And I just love them. And both of these are in my dough bowl. Sorry, I know I'm covering it up. Be ever thankful, as we should. As we should. And then I started working out on the Little House Needleworks, Petites, Fall Petites. I have one done. This is the second house on it. And I want to finish the houses and mount them on these that I got at Target last year. I think I talked about that last week. And then the other 2 have people on them. And I'll put them on little squares because I want to start a fall little village. So I thought I would have all 4 of them done. These are really just a nighttime stitch using the called for colors. But I didn't get them done. So this is, again, Little House Needleworks, Fall Petites. There's 4 of them in the pattern. I love Little House Needleworks. I've said it before, I could pay her mortgage. Probably pay most people's mortgages. And then I did start on my Spanish Rose sampler by Hello Liz Matthews on my birthday. And I got all of the border done. And I started on the motifs in the bottom right. Y'all, I did not do a center start for the first time in my life. And I know it looks like I got off here, but this is the sampler. And yes, I could have corrected it. I know I am super about symmetry, like crazy about symmetrical things. But on samplers, I love the mistakes. One, it makes me feel like I'm okay and I belong and I can do this. But it's part of the history of the sampler. And this is a Spanish sampler. The reason this string is here is because I am stitching this on the called for DMC. It has silk and color threads too, but I don't know what they are. My local LNS doesn't carry it, and I am new to Fancy Floss. I had the DMC. I would have liked to have done the variegation on this because I think variegation on samplers is just stunning. But this DMC, do you see what little I have right here on this motif? Every single X knotted. That's all I got done Sunday night. Every single X that I made knotted. And I got fed up, cried a little bit, and just had to put it aside. I'm going to do thread magic and see if that helps. I don't always like it, but I don't know what else to do. And if you guys have any advice, excuse me 1 second, I'm going to put this down on the floor because my table is full of stuff. Y'all, I had to take things out to my dining room so it would look neat in here. Don't look at that pile back there. I was trying to hide it with my body. Can't see it now, can you? But if you guys have any advice, I think it's me. I don't even think it's the thread because I can knot on classic colorworks too. The only thread so far that I do not knot is Weeks Dyeworks. So I think it's something in the way I'm pulling the thread that I am knotting it. I think it is, yeah, my error. I'm going to just go out and say that. So those are my FOs and my FFOs and my whips. Well, that's a lie. I have a little bit more on the whip side. I have, oh good, not brought that one. Excellent. I am doing, well, I'll show you here. I am working on the Month to Month by the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch, October. I know I'm cutting it close. I've been working on this during the hurricane and really thought I could get it done, but my kids are home and I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to do everything on this one this month. August and September, I stitched the pattern exactly. I think, but I'm not sure, that I will leave off this blackbird. That's still to be decided. I know I'm not going to do the pumpkin on the barn roof. I'm just going to make it plain. And I think I'm going to leave off the little weather vane too. And I haven't decided on this pumpkin yet. Part of it is just time. Look at me peeking around the corner. Part of it is just time. And I had an epiphany or a big girl moment that, because I have always stitched every pattern the way the designer designed it with the colors, everything, because I don't want to disrespect a designer. They've put all this thought into it. I've bought it. It's just a personal thing. But then I finally decided it's mine and it's going in my house. And a lot of you on FlossTube have given me the courage to make things my own. So I'm going to make this pattern my own this month. I also stitched the last two on 14 count. And this one I'm stitching on 16 count. And I like the size of it. I do. And I'm stitching it on gray gingham by Fabric Flare. It's a very, very subtle gray and white check. And it's my first purchase from Fabric Flare. But that's the other one that I'm working on. And like I said, I was hoping to have it finished. I don't even know what I did with it. I'm a hot mess. I got all of these little bins to put everything in order this week, and I still can't get it together. Another two little pillows that I want to do are another one by Heart and Hand. And is this the trilogy? I don't know really what the trilogy is, but I bought these two again at my local needlework shop. I've already got the fabric cut and zigzagged and ready to go. I thought I would have these done. Not yet, but I'm going to work on these. Again, I'm not really working on Halloween. I'm just working on fall and October and trying to get these done for my dough bowl that sits at the front table. And I will have a picture, hopefully, of my dough bowl next week. I'm going to try to do this one this year. This is from the Scarlet with two T's house. Yeah, I don't know how y'all do this, of holding it up so well. This is also a loaner for my friend Jess at Como Stitches. And Autumn Alphabet. And I am going to do this on the called for colors. I'll probably do this on a 16 count. I was trying to see here if it told me what they stitched it on. They did it on a 40 count. Maybe I'll try 20. I have some 20. Getting brave, y'all. Carolyn Stitches is going to be getting giggly over there. And then I am going to try to do one more Halloween because I love witches. Scary Carrie. And who is Scary Carrie by? Lavender Wing. Long Legs Scary Carrie. Y'all, I had this kitted up to do in August. That's all I'm going to say on that one. But I am going to try to get her done. I love witches, witches hat, and witches shoes. So I did one card this week, y'all, for what I had done. Because y'all are so good about telling the threads you use, the fabric you use, all of that good stuff. And I get on here and out the window. Out the window. But I tried. So, there's that. Excuse me again for turning my back on you. So, that's my working on and my whips. And dun, dun, dun. We have haul. And we have haul. So, last Saturday, excuse me one moment. I'm going to take a really rude sip of my coffee. This tooth where they extracted is still healing. They can't do anything with it for another month. And I'm really not supposed to be using a straw, but I still get cotton mouth. But I digress. So Saturday, before the storm hit, I jokingly went up to my LNS to make sure that I had enough things to do during the hurricane. Y'all. And two of my friends were up there. And we were talking. And then talking about samplers too. Because one of my goals in 2023 is to maybe do a sampler a month. And when I say sampler, small. I'm not talking Saltbox Stitcher or Paisley Stitcher or Finally a Farm Girl or Proper Stitcher samplers. Not talking about y'all, because y'all are the real deal. I'm talking small samplers. So they were helping me out. And then a customer had the nerve to come in and start talking to Karen while I was waiting to pay. So all I could do is stand there like you do in the Home Goods and TJ Maxx line and look at things. So I started picking things up. So one of the things I bought, this is October House Fiber Arts Floretta Sampler. And sorry, y'all. I love everything blue and white. And I have blue and white plates. Delft, I collect Delft plates all on a wall in my kitchen. My room is blue and white. Just love it. So I've got this one to do. And y'all look, I remember to take all of these out of the plastics so that any of you with earbuds wouldn't get the crunchy. So I should get credit for that. This is an Erica Michaels, Christy Barron, 1832. And I know I've seen some people stitching this one. And so I had to have it. And I just love all the colors in this one. So another person that is dangerous for me to watch is Jessica Provost, Sweetwater Stitcher. First of all, sweetest girl in the world. I literally watch her floss tubes with my notepad and pen. like I do with Fat Quarter. There's a lot of people that I watch with paper and pen to write down what they show, because then I have to go click, add to cart. So there's that. This one is Heartstring Samplery Until We Meet Again. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. Look at those colors. I'm a sucker for anything in a flower basket and a house. And y'all, I'm just a sucker. Why do I even try to explain? No explanations necessary. Now, this is another designer or design house that is I can foresee trouble in my future, because nobody shows this designer's patterns without me going, have to have it. Goody Grimwood, Plum Street Samplers. It's kind of fallish, hoping maybe I should put this in my fall things, but get real. Look at all those pumpkins. But again, look at the house. Look at the house. You know what? I'm going to pull this and put this in with my fall to try to finish it. That's funny. Now, my craft room, I don't have a lot of stitching in here yet, but I would like to decorate it, as a lot of us do, with things about sewing, and because I sew and stitching. So I've been trying to collect patterns that I like. Now, this is my second tiny modernist, and I'm sorry I butchered modernist last week. But this is Stitching Men's. Look at that. That's going to look beautiful on my wall. Stitching Men's the Soul. And it does, y'all. It does. The next one I have is from Puntini, and you know I love Laura Puntini. And this is When I Think of Stitching. And I don't know if I will make this into a pillow or if I will frame it to put on my wall. I don't know. This next one is by Jeanette Douglas, Matter in Hand. Love this one. Does this count as a sampler? Somebody tell me, because I'm still not sure what a sampler is. I thought it had to have an alphabet. Now I know it doesn't, but I'm still a little new at that. And if y'all can hear my big dog, who could bark at people, my beautiful golden retriever, George Rose, does not. My long-haired Chihuahua that has no business barking at people, and my Yorkie, who couldn't hurt a fly if he wanted to, spend the day patrolling my front windows and barking at anything and everything. So I apologize for them. This is My Big Toe Cross Stitch Designs, and this is which came first. Good question. The needle or the thread? So those, again, my haul this week for the hurricane. Did I think the hurricane was going to last 3 years? I don't know. This one is the Blue Flower Autumn's Hen, original design by Janine McGowan, excuse me. And this has the threads and the little tomato, and it's just, I love it. And now, okay, so that's all for my craft room. And then, I talked about this last week. I love Alice in Wonderland. My name is Alicia. I think I forgot to introduce myself at the beginning, excuse me. The Fanciful Flamingo. And I collect Alice in Wonderland things. So Carolyn Stitches had sent me this, and then I found it at Cross Stitch Cupboard. Bendy Stitchy. Alice's Mad Plant. So you know I got to stitch that. You know I do. And then I saw she had a little display of Bendy Stitchy. This is Vase from Thrace. Again, vase and flowers. Can't go wrong. And I'm doing quite a few stitch alongs in October because I had nothing better to do. I was like really low on patterns. But finally, a farm girl, Chrissy, and I have birthdays very close to each other. And she is doing a stitch along for her birthday with Stitchy Linda, Sweetwater Stitcher, I think Aaron Perpetual Projects, and a bunch of others. I think Kathy Walker might be doing it. There's quite a few of us. This is A Witch in Her Garden by Brenda Gervais, who Chrissy shares a birthday with. So I am going to do this one. Y'all, I thought this was a house. It is a witch. Because seriously, y'all, I was like, where's the witch? Apparently I need better glasses. And I am doing a few other little stitch alongs, but I'll get into those next week. But that was my whole Saturday. My husband's I'm going Saturday to stitch with Carolyn Stitches. So if any of y'all are watching and are in the area, we will be stitching at the Cross Stitch Cupboard this Saturday. So please join us. So there's my haul. Now I have some enabler alerts. You know me. I have to have all the pretty accoutrements. I used to tell my son hasn't always loved sports, but anytime he tried something, I would buy all of the gear and the equipment. And I was like, at least you can look good doing it. So I might not be the greatest cross stitcher, but at least I can look good trying. So this is Country Lane Needlework, and she has an Etsy shop. And I bought these. Are these floss tags? Y'all, I don't even know what to call them. From her Etsy shop. Y'all know I couldn't stop at just one. I can't even look at these. Because then I'm going to match them up to different projects. And she always includes a skein of floss. I don't even know how to show this. With the number of the floss on it. So that is Country Lane Needlework on Etsy. And these are not flimsy. These are hardcore. Hardcore, because I yank. And this is what she does. The ring. She does these little things. She always does like a little charm. And her packaging, you don't even want to open it when you get it. It is beautiful. So there's an enabler alert. And then my husband, for my birthday, didn't know he bought this until I got home Saturday, but these scissors are in a display case at the cash register at the Cross Stitch Cupboard. And I have been eyeing them forever. I don't know how to get, aren't they beautiful? And I think the proper stitcher has a pair of these that is in her intro as well. So this was the birthday present from my husband. Thank you. Those are beautiful, and I love them. My children got me 2 candles and this beautiful Alex and Annie bracelet. I love Alex and Annie. My sweet, precious babies who are driving me nuts right now. And then I started stitching on 14 count. And now I've gone to 16 and 18. So I started with a 24 needle. Went down to a 26 and could not thread a 26 needle when I first started. Had to watch a YouTube tutorial on how to thread a needle. Now I can thread the 26 and I love them. Don't like my 24s anymore. Have a whole little container of them. If anybody wants them, let me know. But now that I'm going to go and stitch even smaller, I bought some 28s. I don't know if I'll be able to thread these. They're so tiny. I have man hands. These are tiny. And then, because I'm old, I have the beginnings of arthritis really bad in this thumb, but I think it's the way I hold my needle, and my wrist gets tired. So I bought these copper compression gloves off of Amazon, and I'll try to link it. My son will link it. below for you guys. Copper compression gloves. Now, they came yesterday, and I put them on to stitch, and they were a little cumbersome. So I put them on last night when I went to bed, and I got up at 3 in the morning to pee. And my hands felt good because they get achy and stiff at night. So they felt good. So I like them. So I'm passing it on. I'm going to try to start stitching a little bit with these, see if I can get used to them. I mean, they're fingerless, so I look like a Harley rider. But I just want to, if anybody else has trouble with their hands, I really, really am impressed with how my hands felt this morning. So we're almost to the end. Whew, thank goodness. I did want to talk a little bit of organization. Wouldn't know from looking at this, but I don't always have a clean house. I try to have an organized house. My husband is watching this right now and is running in case there's a lightning strike. But I bought this little calendar on Amazon to kind of do like a months of cross. I have my planner, and then this was going to be for cross stitching. Of course, it had flamingos on it. But I don't know who made this calendar, but y'all were drinking and not apple juice. I get to March, and I have whited it out now, but March started over here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So in this calendar, they filled in all the blocks without a care in the world to the dates. But I've whited it out, and I've kept it, and this is hopefully my cross stitch. I see a lot of y'all, I can't remember the book that y'all use. But I got this one, I think it was $5 on Amazon. And so I'm trying to map out next year for my stitching. Because I've noticed a lot of you have where you stitch samplers on Sunday. There's flags on the 4th. I have my FFOs. Look, I have when I fill floss tube and other things in here. Because I am starting to do more whips and more not start to finish projects anymore. So I don't want to get overwhelmed, and that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. So I'm trying to tell myself it's okay to pick something up for a day or just on Sundays and do it. And quite frankly, trying to finish the month-to-month October and these last 3 days and just stitch, like trying to hurry and finish it has probably not helped my mood. A lot of y'all pick up and put down as y'all are feeling it. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, how can you do that? I actually think that's therapeutic, because sometimes you're just stitching on something to the point where you're like, I can't put another stitch in this roof. I need to stop and do something else. And I'm starting to see your ways. So that's one of my organizations. And then I'm starting to accumulate patterns. I don't know if y'all can tell. And I have them in little baskets around my craft room, but I'm constantly having to go through them. And I don't really, I can't remember from one week to another what I bought. Not that I buy every week, honey. Just as an example. So I have some of these 12 by 12. They're scrapbook boxes from Michael's. But as I've moved things around and purged, I had some empty ones. So this one was going to be my just Halloween, but I don't have that much Halloween. So now this is fall and Halloween. So I think I'm going to use some of these that I have. I don't have a lot of Christmas yet, but I'll put Christmas in here, or not in here, in another one. I might do some 4th of July or patriotics in another. And then use my Cricut to label them so I know what the box is. So I think that's how for now. I mean, it's pretty deep. I'm going to do, and it's big enough to hold samplers. So this is how I'm going to organize themed patterns or holiday patterns. Some of you might have seen I posted that I had bought this little lingerie chest from my childhood room, like kind of decor. And I thought I was going to put patterns in it, but I've decided I'm going to put fabric. And not that I have enough fabric to fill it up, because I don't. But we all know it's just a matter of time. So I did have my different counts of fabrics in these, but then I'll free these up, and then I might put my samplers in one and some designers. But honestly, I'm new. Some of you guys are just geniuses with designers. I like heart and hand, hands-on design. I'm picking up some Brenda Gervais, little house needlework. I'll need a bigger house for. But I still don't know a lot of the designers, so I don't know if doing some of these by designers would work for me. But we'll see. But so here's 2 attempts at trying to organize things so that I will stitch some of these patterns. So there's that. And then, dun, 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 what we're all waiting for. The winners of last week's gifts. So, what did I do with the Tiny Modernist? There were 2 giveaways. There it is. So, there are 2 gifts. And what you had to do to qualify was subscribe to my channel, like the video, and leave a comment. So I have 35 subscribers. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much. Really, thank you. Thank you. So our gifts were this beautiful project bag from Como Stitches and this Tiny Modernist cross stitch that I love so much. I bought 2 of them. So, drum roll please. Brrr. Carolyn Stitches won the Tiny Modernist cross stitch. Autumn House on a Hill. And Marlissa Santos won the project bag. And the Notions bag and the thread keeper that go with it. So congratulations to both of you, and thank you so much for subscribing and liking and leaving a comment. If you will please, in the comments below, leave me your address so I can get these out to you ASAP. My mail is running again. So thank you guys again. This week's giveaways are gifts. These week's gifts. We have this Autumn Harvest collection by Millhouse. And it's football season, and it is a football cross stitch with beads. Everything is included. Sorry about the glare, y'all. I'll get better at this, I promise. Y'all don't give up on me. So that is number 1. And number 2 is the Christmas Ornaments Cross Stitch Magazine, the 2022 special holiday issue. And there are lots of good ones in here. So number 1 gift and number 2. And again, you have to be 18 because I have to ask for your address. You need to just subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and leave me a comment. Any suggestions about this week, anything you'd like to see, and just let me know 1 or 2. Last week you got what you got, but this week I'm feeling thankful for so many things. So 1 or 2. And if you like this channel, which I worry about you if you do because I'm a hot mess express, but you can also hit the notification bell below and put that little bell on. And I am going to try to do a video every week, but we will see. But thank you guys so much. We are at the end of September. Can y'all believe it? And heading into October. Faster than I would like. But please keep my Florida friends in your prayers. I think it's going to leave Jacksonville and go up the coast of Georgia and South Carolina. So anyone in the way of Ian, let's keep them in your prayers and in your thoughts this week because they really need it. Bye, y'all.